Recently, I was on YouTube Shorts looking at what I normally do. That was until the craziest short came on.
You'd have to weigh a massive 1,800 pounds before your skeleton would just collapse.
If you've seen these shorts by Zack D Films, you've probably been traumatized as well. Today we're doing a deep dive on his shorts to figure out if they're actually that bad. This can't genuinely be nightmare fuel, right?
The prisoner stands on a trap door with a noose around their neck. In the next room, 3 workers each face a button. At a signal,
Bro, this seems way too intense for a YouTube short. I mean, imagine I'm trying to eat my dinosaur-shaped macaroni and this pulls up. Like, I get there's crazy videos on the internet, like on World Star, or if you go in the dark parts of Twitter, I get that. But this is YouTube Shorts, bro. Let me enjoy my macaroni.
all 3 push their buttons at exactly the same time. Now, only one button actually opens the trap door beneath the prisoner's feet, meaning nobody knows who really activated it.
Look at bro's face right now. I feel like you'd still be able to tell. I feel like just the way the button goes in, I feel like you'd be able to tell. I've heard they do the same thing for a firing squad and they give other people blanks. But I feel like if this was your job and you do this, you know, at least 3 times, okay? One of the times it's gonna feel a little bit different pressing that button than the other time. Like, unless Steve Jobs designed the button, you know, it's super ergonomic and the way it feels and all that, you're gonna know if you did it or not. You know what I mean?
So no one feels guilty. The prisoner falls instantly, and the identity of the true executioner is never known.
Stop the cap.
Okay, in all seriousness, I feel like it'd be tough to do this and then go about your regular life. Like, imagine pressing that button, knowing you did it, and then going into the break room with the other employees and celebrating Larry's 40th work anniversary. Like, when you're eating that birthday cake, it's gonna be tough to ignore what just happened. Let's see what else Zack D Films has for us.
A soldier spotted a tortoise crawling through the mud during the battle. He picked it up and tucked it inside his pack. The tortoise stayed by his side through gunfire and trenches. They crossed battlefields together, shared food, and survived the chaos.
Bro, I feel like if you're in war and you're shooting at people, I think you're taking that tortoise thinking, all right, that's my dinner later. Like, even if you have, what's it called, an MRE or whatever, I think this guy had more nefarious intentions, but maybe it just worked out. Or maybe he was so delusional, he thought it was one of those green shells from Mario Kart. I'm gonna throw that at the enemy.
After the war, he brought it home, and it lived in his garden for decades. The soldier died in his 80s, but the tortoise lived for 10 more years, outliving the man who saved it.
Can you imagine him talking to one of his uncles that served in another war before him? He's like, you went out there? You didn't kill anyone? You rescued a tortoise instead? You think you fought for this country? Are you kidding me? I wish you didn't come back at all. How dare you show your face to me holding a tortoise when you're supposed to be out there fighting for our country? Your best friend died, and you're telling me you're out there screwing around looking for tortoises? That's pretty crazy.
She stuck her arm through the cuff and pressed the button. Then it inflated with air, tightening around her arm to measure blood flow. But when it was supposed to release, the valve got stuck.
Oh, heck no. This has to be a new fear unlocked. I remember doing this as a kid, and if you've ever done this, when it's inflating, you ever think, is it just gonna keep inflating? Is it gonna blow my arm off? You know what I mean? Because, like, the pad feels strong, you know what I mean? It feels like it can, like, basically snap your arm.
It's tingling. It's tingling. This thing's no joke.
I mean, that's if you're 7 years old. All right. Hopefully you got some more muscle mass on there now. Allegedly. Wow, there's a lot of good things to say about the modern world, but I mean, now this is a new thing people have to be scared about.
Trapping the air inside, the pressure stayed tight, squeezing her arm painfully and pinning her to the chair. She yelled for help, panicked, and was unable to pull free until someone finally just unplugged the machine.
You know what? I think I'd rather have high blood pressure. I hate to say it, but what if Johnny over there that unplugged the machine wasn't there? You're screwed. You'd probably get a blood clot, honestly, which would probably kill you. Modern medicine, my ass.
If a nuke is being dropped on your city,
Bro, what the f is you even talking about, bro?
All right, I thought we were actually getting more chill. I guess not.
and you try to shoot it down, some people think that would make it explode. But after piercing the armor, the bullet would have to ignite a layer of explosives that surround the core. And this is what would set off the nuclear explosion.
Can you imagine Mr. Beast 10 years from now? Today, I'm dropping a nuke on your city. That'd be so messed up. I feel like for most of these, he could be totally wrong and no one would know because it's like the most outrageous scenario. But honestly, I feel like if you corrected him in the comments and you were right, he would immediately be on some kind of FBI watch list. You know what I mean? Like if someone's like, oh, well, actually, if you shoot 30-06 at it, it won't penetrate. Like if you start going like that and you're right, instantly flagged. Your username instantly suddenly pulls up on someone's screen at the Pentagon. You know, there's no way it's not happening.
But this layer of explosives is incredibly stable and can only be triggered by a detonator. Now, the detonator wire is only a fraction of an inch wide, meaning if the bullet cut it in half, it would actually disable the bomb, making it drop to the ground without going off.
I feel like someone's gonna use that as the ending of a movie in the next few years. Like some kind of crazy, I could see like a Marvel movie, you know, someone just snipes a nuke coming in, severs the wire, saves the day. I could totally see that. I hope Hollywood's taking notes.
It slithered toward her as she was washing dishes and suddenly bit her thigh.
Bro, how in the world could you be in that much of a flow state to not see this big ass anaconda first getting into the room and then biting you? Whatever they were making probably hits, you know what I mean? If that's the level of focus they had, there's no way that doesn't slap.
So good.
And as she screamed, the 16-foot-long python wrapped itself around her body. The 64-year-old was pinned to the floor of her kitchen, unable to move as the snake squeezed tighter with every breath she took.
No offense, but this has to be like the Michael Jordan of snakes. You know what I mean? Like, to think of how many anacondas actually get to bite people. I mean, this is like Snake Hall of Fame type stuff. And if you're enjoying this video, hit that subscribe button.
She screamed for help for 2 hours. Finally, a neighbor heard her cries and called the police. And when rescuers arrived, they beat the snake with a crowbar.
I like how the neighbors stayed outside. Like, the screams were bad enough to be like, yeah, I ain't going in there. I'll call someone. Let me call TaskRabbit. Let me call 911. I'm not going in there. I might have to take back my Michael Jordan comment about this snake for it taking 2 hours. You know what I mean? But I mean, in this case, it's a good thing, okay?
Until it finally let go and slithered away. The woman survived, but the python was never captured.
You know it's a big snake when they're like, yeah, we're not even gonna call animal control to pick that up.
They yanked out the feathers around the chicken's butt and pressed the butthole directly onto the infected lump.
I like how even Zack D himself had to blur out that chicken butt. Like, out of all the lines he could have drawn this entire time, he's like, you know what? We're not showing that. That's a little bit too much.
Strapping it on. You see, they thought it would suck out poison from the patient, and they would even seal its beak to encourage it to breathe through its butt. Once the chicken suffocated, they immediately replaced it with another one. And this method was used for centuries before people realized it didn't actually work.
Can you imagine being 30 chickens in to your treatment and then some guy walking and being like, oh yeah, none of this works? That must be crazy. You wouldn't eat them after, right? Because you just like throw the chickens away? That's a waste of some good chickens right there. Watch science advance a little bit more and we find out that was like the most ingenious thing ever.
The owner would beat the goat with sticks, and he did this to make it aggressive towards humans, so it would guard him. And this went on for a long time.
Bro, chill. Oh my gosh. That farmer had some reach. He had that swing down. I just don't see how a goat would be a good defense. You probably have to have a lot of faith in that goat to actually protect you. Can you imagine trying that with a bear? I don't think it would go down like that.
But one day, the goat had enough. It charged forward, ramming its sharp horns straight into the man's stomach, twice. As the man stumbled away, the goat chased him onto the porch.
This is what everyone wanted to happen. I just like how the goat chased him. Like, the goat really wanted the smoke, you know what I mean? Because the goat didn't run. The goat took the hits.
Then kicked him off. And he hit the ground hard, dying within minutes. When his body was found, the goat was captured, but instead of being put down, it was taken in by animal rescuers.
I don't know if you guys have seen Air Bud, but I would totally watch this movie with a goat. That would hit the box office so hard. Oh my gosh. Remember that movie with the chimp that played hockey or something? I want to watch the movie of the goat that killed its owner and then lived happily ever after. That's a story I didn't know I actually needed.
After being cut off, its blood vessels and nerves were attached to the neck of a larger dog. And once everything was connected, the small dog's head and front legs were sewn onto the larger dog's back.
Imagine doing that to an actual puppy. Imagine cutting a puppy in half. Dude, this is so crazy. I love how Zack D saw this and was like, people need to know about this. People need to know what happened to this puppy.
This disturbing setup forced them to share the same blood supply, keeping them both alive. And for 3 weeks, the small dog's head could move and bark.
Can you imagine what that dog was trying to say? Imagine waking up and you're the head on someone else's body. I'm shocked they lived for 3 weeks. That's a long time. Can you imagine waking up the next day? Like the first day, you're freaking out. You're like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. This is all a bad dream. And then you wake up and you're still attached. That is insane. But it still begs the question, would you rather get attached to someone else or someone else get attached to you? Let me know in the comments.
Now, sadly, the strain was too much on their bodies, and both dogs eventually died.
I like how we animated two people just standing in the room with a clipboard. Like, what the F could you write down that would be useful? You know what I mean? Dog 1 barked. Dog 2 barked as well. Subject seems to be in excruciating pain. That's officially enough internet for me today.